Today I'm going to talk about the thyroid gland and how about 13 years ago when I started my practice, many people laughed at us, part of the medical world and a lot of people, because we would ask our patients to get 2 additional tests done when they came to us with a thyroid problem. A lot of people came to us with a thyroid problem and we wanted to know what we were treating. So we would ask them to do, because that's what you learn in lifestyle medicine, to address the root cause of the problem. We would ask them to do an anti-TPO test, that's a TPO, a thyroid peroxidase, and an anti-thyroid globulin test, which was an ATG. And they would go to their doctors and a lot of their doctors would laugh and say, like, why do you need this? You know, the medicine's going to be the same. And my question would be, then why does it exist? Why does it exist as a medical test if we're not going to check it? And what we were trying to do was understand, why do you have a thyroid problem? Is your thyroid an underactive thyroid because of your lifestyle, because of your nutrients, because of, malnourishment? Or do you have an underactive thyroid gland because it's being attacked by your immune system, like an autoimmune disorder, which is called a Hashimoto's thyroid? So if I know the patient has a Hashimoto's thyroid, my protocol and treatment is very, very different. At the same time, if I know it's not a Hashimoto's and it's not caused because of an autoimmune attack, my protocol is very, very different. It didn't matter to the medical world because, hey, the treatment is the same medically. But the point is, wouldn't you like to know what the root cause of your problem is? Because let's say it is an autoimmune condition. You want to sort that out right now before your immune system, today it's attacking your thyroid gland, tomorrow it can attack any other part of your body. So you see, that's the difference between allopathy and they treat the symptom, and there's nothing wrong with that system. We have doctors on our team as we speak who are treating patients. Allopathy treats the symptom. Lifestyle medicine, while the symptom is being treated, also wants to understand, why are you sick? Address the root cause of the problem so, hey, you can get better, and 2, you can prevent further problems. So we had so many patients who were being treated for thyroid, but they actually had a Hashimoto's. They had an autoimmune condition. And because they were not looking after that, after a while they had a rheumatoid arthritis or they were having an alopecia, because that's what happens when you don't address the root cause of the problem. And that is why today I can guarantee you, as we speak, there would be millions of people who are just taking a thyroid medication, and they should if it's prescribed by the doctor, but they don't know what they have. And that's why we recommend to people, do an anti-TPO and an anti-ATG test. Okay, get it done so at least you know what problem you have. Maybe the medication will still be the same, but now you know what you have, so you can actually use your lifestyle to get better. So, when I have a Hashimoto's thyroid, let's understand. Now let's understand, a lot of people out there with a thyroid problem. Number 1, can you reverse your thyroid problem? Okay, I don't need to tell you that. As I speak, there are thousands of people who have made changes in their lifestyle. They go to their doctor. Their TSH is getting better, their T3 is getting better, their T4 is getting better, and their doctor moves them from 150 to 100, then a 75, then a 50, then once every alternate day, then maybe once on the weekend, and guess what? Finally, they're off medication. So it is possible. It is possible to do it. Some people have complications, so it may be a little slower. Some people may not be able to get off the medication completely, but they can move from a 150 to maybe even a 25 on a minimum dosage and still be in control. The point is, you're getting better, and we should want to get better. We should not want to have to be on a medicine for a lifetime because, hey, that's what we're told. Now let's understand the thyroid gland and what all we can do with it. So the first thing is, what kind of a thyroid patient are you? Do you have a Hashimoto's? If yes, you have an autoimmune condition. There are many things that trigger the immune system. And I'm teaching you this today so you can protect your thyroid gland and you can prevent any other autoimmune conditions that may happen. What are some examples of autoimmune conditions? Multiple sclerosis, alopecia, systemic lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and so many more. So the point is, your immune system is behaving erratically. So in a Hashimoto's, your immune system fails to recognize that these thyroid cells should not be attacked, but it attacks it. It mistakenly attacks it. Like in a multiple sclerosis, it attacks your myelin sheath, it attacks your nerves. In a rheumatoid arthritis, it's attacking your joints, and vice versa. Your immune system is attacking the wrong things. Now, why does this happen? There are many, many reasons. Number one being chronic stress. You're chronically stressed out. Your immune system never relaxes. You're constantly anxious. Your immune system has to learn how to relax. It does its job. It fights the enemy. Now it needs to relax. Fights another enemy. It needs to relax. But what our immune systems are doing today, because we're moving on from one stressor to another, it's fighting, protecting, and staying elevated because of our stressful thoughts, our stressful emotions, all the stressors that exist around us. And the immune system needs to rest. It needs to relax. Because we're stressed out, we can't sleep at night. That's your immune system gets stronger and smarter while we sleep. But we don't even have the right sleep. So now your immune system is erratic and it can attack any part of your body as a mistake. But that's the problem. So number one is chronic stress. Number two is a leaky gut syndrome. And most of our thyroid patients that we sorted out over the years, it started off by looking at the gut. If you have a leaky gut, okay, let me explain to you really, really quickly what can happen. Picture your gut wall, your gut lining as a thin fishing net. A thin fishing net has small holes. That's perfect. We eat food, it gets broken down, it assimilates, and these little fingers on your intestinal walls will try to pull the nutrients from the food that you've eaten across this fishing net into your blood. Now this is all perfect, that's the way it's supposed to be. But now over time, because we have gut problems, we have the wrong kind of bacteria growing in our gut, we have too much of the wrong bacteria, we are eating the wrong foods that don't suit us, they're causing inflammation. These little holes in that fishing net start to get bigger and bigger. Now, not only do nutrients pass through, but also the unwanted stuff that is not supposed to pass through the fishing net into our blood. But because the holes are bigger, that's why it's called a leaky gut. We're passing certain molecules, certain pathogens, certain things that are supposed to be eliminated from our system to the large intestine and out of our rectums. That's what's supposed to happen. But a lot of these foreign objects are now, particles are now entering into our blood system. Is it supposed to be there? No. What happens when something that's not supposed to be in your blood is in your blood? Your immune system wakes up and starts to attack. Now, a lot of these molecules that enter our system, it's called molecular mimicry. They imitate or they resemble certain tissues in our body. Some of them may resemble our joint tissues. It may resemble our muscle. It may resemble our thyroid gland. And the immune system mistakenly attacks it. So that's another big reason why people will have an elevated anti-TPO in thousands or an anti-ATG. This can signify that you have a leaky gut. And most patients who have this will have a gut problem. They'll have bloating, they'll have constipation or IBS, or they'll oscillate between the two, extreme indigestion, they'll have food allergies, they'll have other allergies, they'll be very intolerant to inflammatory foods like dairy, like gluten. They could eat it, but now they can't eat it. These are all little signs that you have it. And that's why you got to treat a leaky gut by eliminating the foods that don't suit you, that you're intolerant to, or make the gut stronger so now you can break down gluten if you're not celiac. Some people don't even know they're lactose intolerant. Some people don't even know they're celiac. So what happens right now is you go on eating those foods, but you're popping an antacid and after digestive to cope with the pain. But those little holes in the fishing net are growing bigger and bigger because you're eating foods that you're not supposed to eat. So our lifestyle can also impact a leaky gut situation. And that's how we can have a Hashimoto's. So now if you've done those tests as a thyroid patient and you realize that your anti-TPO and your ATG is high, you know you have an autoimmune condition. And as a patient, you have the right to know what you have. Even though the medical world would say, oh, it's a useless test, then ask them, why does it exist? Why does this test exist? Just because the medication is the same, but hey, there are many lifestyle changes I can now make. I can work on my gut. I can see if I have an intolerance to a particular food, which tomorrow can create a bigger problem. It can create a problem of obesity, hormonal imbalance, falling hair, dull skin, allergies, liver problems, and so much more. And that's why you want to address the root cause of the problem. The third, your liver. When people come to us to treat the thyroid, the first thing we look at is the liver. Because you need to understand there's a TSH, there's a T3, and a T4. Your thyroid gland, whether you're a hyperthyroid, whether you're a hypothyroid, or whether you're a Hashimoto's thyroid, it doesn't matter. But the conversion of T4 to T3 happens in the liver. It's produced in the thyroid gland, but the conversion happens in the liver. If there is an improper conversion of T4 and T3, you'll have weight gain, you'll have fatigue, you'll have these sweats, you'll have falling hair, you'll have dull skin, you'll have mood swings, and all of these problems. And that's why just taking a thyroid medication may make your blood parameters look good, but it's not really solving most of your problems because you haven't looked at the liver. Now, most people have a problem in their liver. They have elevated enzymes. Your SGOT and your SGPT is elevated. Some people think it's alcohol. It doesn't always have to be alcohol. Our liver can be sluggish. We can have a mild fatty liver. We can have a grade 1, a grade 2, a grade 3, or a cirrhotic liver. But the point is, if your liver is burdened with things like overeating, toxins that exist everywhere in the food that we eat, the air, our cosmetics, the little fragrances that you have in your car, the fragrances that you have in your toilet that have that really powerful sweet smell. It's better to use essential oil fragrances if you want. Make that change. But the liver has the job of cleaning all of this out of your system. One of the symptoms of a sluggish liver would be you're putting on weight, abdominal fat. No matter how clean you're eating, how much you're working out, you're not losing that weight because guess what? The liver plays an important role of fat metabolism. But its primary role is eliminating toxins from the body. That's its primary role, to keep you alive. So it puts fat burning on the back burner. So if we start to clean up our food chain, what we're eating at home, the toxins whether it's the cosmetics we use, the fragrances and the perfumes, all of that are mostly xenoestrogens. Your liver has to clean it out. Now your liver's too burdened. Your liver also has the job of T4 and T3 conversion, which is why when people come to us, we're constantly looking at their liver health. How can we bring you from a grade 3 to a grade 2, grade 2 to grade 1 to a mild to no fatty liver? That's number one. What are the kind of foods that you're eating that supports your liver health? And what are the kind of foods that you got to stop eating, like binge drinking alcohol, smoking, ultra-processed food, junk food, over salty food, I'm talking about processed and junk food, not drinking the right amount of water, eating too quickly, all the poor lifestyles that we have. So you see, if you want to reverse that thyroid gland, whether the thyroid problem, whether it's a Hashimoto's, underactive, overactive, it doesn't matter. You got to look at the gland and you got to go look at your liver. Now, in most people who have thyroid problems, there are missing nutrients in your body. Vitamin A, the entire spectrum of vitamin B, iodine, if you have a hypothyroidism, then you have zinc, you have copper, you have selenium, and you have the right fats that are missing in your body, which is why we will always use a medium chain triglyceride like a cold pressed coconut oil, because the coconut oil works beautifully for the liver and its conversion of T4 to T3. This is why you look at a holistic approach when you're looking at a thyroid gland. If you want to get better, you have to fix the problem by connecting every little thing together. And what about your sleep? If you're sleep deprived, you are going to have thyroid problems. Now, stress really won't alone cause a thyroid problem, but if you have even the slightest thyroid problem, stress will aggravate it rapidly. Again, your thyroid gland works with your pituitary gland, which also works with your adrenal gland that produces cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So you see, everything is interconnected. Your stress levels are connected with the health of your thyroid gland, the health of your liver, the health of every single gland in the body, every single organ in the body, which is why you'll find out most people with thyroid problems have gone through a stage of extreme stress before they got the problem. So someone comes to me with a thyroid problem, my first question is, what was going on in your life 6 months to a year before you got diagnosed with thyroid? And there will be one or a couple of stressful events, because stress has a direct impact on how our thyroid gland works. What is the function of the thyroid gland? What is the function of thyroxine? Converting carbs, proteins, and fats into energy, metabolism. So I may be eating the best food, but if I don't have the right thyroid function, I'm unable to convert what I eat into energy, which is why thyroid patients usually feel low, fatigued, tired, and then they think they need to eat more. And now they put on weight. It's a vicious cycle, but they don't need to eat more. They need to improve thyroxine levels so that the conversion of your food that you eat into energy happens effectively. So you see, when you understand how the human body works, now your thyroid gland is way beyond just the medicine. Take the medicine, I'm not against it, but you have to change your lifestyle. So your stress levels, your sleep, your nutrition, having things like the first thyroid case that I fixed about 13 years ago. It was a very, very simple case. And we fixed that case by only improving the patient's sleep, getting selenium into their diet, and MCT, and making sure that most of their meals were home cooked so that they had all the nutrients and vitamins that they needed. We didn't even use a multivitamin. And that patient had read some article about pink salt being the best and had stopped eating iodized salt completely and moved to pink salt. Now, there's nothing wrong with pink salt, but you got to understand the difference between sodium chloride and potassium chloride. So it's great to have a mix of it. Have a mix of white salt and have a mix of pink salt. But don't just do pink salt, because you need sodium chloride and you need iodine for your thyroid function. So now, I spoke to you very generically today. These are usually most of the problems that people with thyroid have. A lot of people with thyroid have suppressed anger. They have suppressed rage. They have suppressed bitterness as well. All of this impacts you because what you keep in is affecting your internal environment. Your hormones are chemical messengers constantly responding to what's happening within you and outside you. So if you're constantly angry, what hormones do you need for that? Cortisol, adrenaline, thyroxine, insulin, fluctuations in estrogen, testosterone, and everything together. Which is why when you want to fix your thyroid gland, it starts off first with, what do I have? Do I have a Hashimoto's, or do I have just an underactive or an overactive thyroid? So first, get that test done, because there's a lot that you can do to solve the problem and also prevent. Let's say it's a Hashimoto's, and you got to be careful. You got to change your lifestyle, because tomorrow you don't want a Hashimoto's. You already have one autoimmune condition. What stops you from getting the second? And that is why we always address the root cause of the problem, and lifestyle matters. Have a great day, everyone. Whatever I spoke to you about today, try to fit yourself in that category and understand that there is always something that can be done. I've done a lot more videos on the thyroid gland on YouTube on my channel. A lot of people have used that free video to actually reverse their thyroid. So go through it, try to do your best, try to figure out the lifestyle changes that you need to make. The last point that I forgot, and it's important, is your workouts. If you are a thyroid patient, please do not do extreme workouts and add more stress to the body. You can work out, but gradual, gentle, consistent. Consistency is more important than intensity. This is so important for you. I mean, your thyroid goes up, people will be happy to medicate you. But the point is, be gentle with your workouts. In fact, most results come with gentle workouts, but consistent. Consistency over intensity. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, breathe deep. And remember, you care is all about you.